Hello everybody, welcome to today's video, and today we'll be talking about my final prediction for the New York City mayoral primary that is going to happen later today. I will be streaming it. Make sure to come by, watch the results with me and my, group. So, let's get into the video. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and yeah, let's get into it. So, today, a new poll was released by Emerson College. Emerson College, it's a pretty respected pollster, and in the first round, Andrew Cuomo was up by 3%. In the final round, Mamdani took the lead, and he was at leading Cuomo by 4%. So as we can see, the differences between the first and final round is Cuomo, he went from 36 to 48, he gained 12, and Mamdani, he went from 34 to 52, so he gained 18. So this is, kind of an outlier poll. Every single other poll, except for public policy polling, which had a poll back in early June, which had Mamdani up by 5, and it didn't even have a final round. So this new Emerson poll definitely gives Mamdani and his supporters some more hope before today's primary. Look, it's one pollster, Emerson College, pretty respected, but it's not an outstanding pollster. It wasn't one of the top pollsters in 2024, but Mamdani, he definitely has a chance. What we are seeing from this, but let's dive deeper a bit. So here is a map by bureau from 2021's New York mayoral race, and I just want to talk about who I think is going to win each bureau, and I can come back to this if I want to brag, and I get every single one correct, but it shouldn't be that hard. Cuomo and Mamdani, they're both from Queens. Staten Island, it's definitely the most conservative borough, and Republicans usually do win this one most of the time, 80%, 90% of the time, and Andrew Cuomo should easily win Staten Island. He will also win Bronx. Bronx is heavily African American dominated, and Cuomo does really good among black voters. He wins Hispanic voters as well. Mamdani's strong points are actually in white voters and in Asian American voters. So, yeah. I think Cuomo narrowly wins Queens. Queens is kind of a toss-up. I think Cuomo does win it. Brooklyn and Manhattan, those are going to go to Mamdani. I do want to say Scott Stringer should probably do well here. He does well in Manhattan. I think Stringer comes in maybe fourth here or third. But Mamdani wins Manhattan. Manhattan, goes to Mamdani as well as Brooklyn. While Cuomo narrowly carries Queens, he wins Bronx and Staten Island. So I do want to talk about how Manhattan and Brooklyn, they're the two most populous boroughs. Queens is the third most populous, Bronx is fourth, and Staten Island lags very far behind in fifth. So Cuomo should win the three less populated boroughs, and yeah. I feel like if he doesn't have to win Manhattan or Brooklyn to win the primary. He should win the primary, in my opinion. Okay, so here's my actual prediction. I have Cuomo in the first round, right? Cuomo comes in first. Mamdani comes in second. Brad Lander comes in third. Adrian Adams fourth. Scott Stringer fifth. Zelnor Myrie sixth. Michael Blake seventh. And, the rest of the candidates don't really matter. Whitney Tilson eighth, probably. So, yeah, in the first round, that's what's going to happen. And Cuomo is up against Mamdani by, I'd say, 11 points. By the final round, because, we eliminate. By the final round, Cuomo narrowly wins. He wins by 3%. 51.5 to 48.5. That's my final prediction for New York City. So now let's just get into some data, right? So as you can see here, and then there was a event last night. It was kind of a co-event between Brad Lander, and Zoran Mamdani. They already crossed the doors, but Adrian Adams, she also joined in. So this kind of they call it the slate, right? The slate. And it's basically anti-Cuomo, Adams, she also cross-endorsed Mamdani there, I believe. So it's really this anti-Cuomo pact now, so we can kind of expect Adams and Lander voters to rank Mamdani on their ballot at least. So, yeah. Here's the polling graph, right? And then you can see Mamdani still gaining on Cuomo. But something I also want to talk about is that really no matter what, Cuomo and Mamdani, if Cuomo wins the primary, Mamdani is still going to end up on the ballot. And if Mamdani wins the primary, Cuomo is still going to end up on the ballot. So, because Andrew Cuomo, he has his own ballot line, right? He has his ballot line. It's called Fight and Defend, I believe. And, Mamdani, he wins the Democratic nomination. Working Families is also going to nominate him. And then Cuomo's going to run on the the Fight and Defend ballot line. I think that's what it's called. I'm just going to keep calling it that. And then you have Eric Adams, Curtis Sliwa, and the other independent guy who isn't going to get anything. And then if Cuomo wins a primary, Zohran Mamdani, he's likely going to get nominated by the Working Families, though Working Families could also nominate Brad Lander or Adrian Adams, but likely Zohran Mamdani. So, just don't expect, Mamdani to endorse Cuomo or Cuomo to endorse Mamdani, whoever loses, right? And I'm going to talk about this, right? Ranked choice results. Sorry, that was my phone. Every round there's going to be some more inactive ballots, and active ballots, that basically means all of the candidates they ranked have already been eliminated, or they didn't rank 5 candidates, so they ranked 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So yeah, there's going to be an inactive ballot buildup across the rounds, so you should expect that. And I also feel like we're going to see some overperformances from Mamdani. I feel like he's going to do a bit better than what polling perceives him to be doing. Because, polling, not everybody comes out to vote. Because tomorrow, it's really hot, Not everybody's going to stand in line. And then, Mamdani has already pushed out a lot of his voters. He squeezed them out, told them to go early vote. So, Mamdani definitely should be leading in the early votes right now, and also his boroughs are getting more votes than the other boroughs that should go to Cuomo: Bronx, Queens, and Staten Island. And that's what you expect, right, by population. But it's also how much the percentage gained since 2021. So that's definitely something to look out for. I also want to talk about how Mamdani, he should be he's going to gain a lot after Adrian Adams is eliminated. He's going to gain a lot after, his main chunk, I feel like, is going to come from Brad Lander's ballots. So, yeah, you should definitely expect a big increase from, for Mamdani's vote count after Lander's ballots are counted. But also this process, if nobody reaches 50% on election night, right? Because that's the first round. And it's going to take around a week for maybe the first 4 rounds, because it took 2 weeks, 14 days for the 2021 primary to be certified. So, yeah, for AP to call it. So yeah, definitely watch out for that. It's going to be a very long night or a very long week or so. So do not expect a winner immediately. And yeah, once again, I expect Cuomo to win by 3% in the final round. And that is it for this video. Thank you. Remember to subscribe and like the video. I will be streaming this on election night. Today, right? I'm going to start at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then if you live between those, you can figure it out. Anyways, thank you for watching, and once again, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.